Lagos, one of Africa's most populous megacities, is not only known for its hustling and bustling, it is also an economic powerhouse and a model of development on the continent of Africa. This is Inside Lagos, and you're welcome. I'm Adedoja Salam Adeniyi. The caretaker committee of the Governing All Progressives Congress in company of the host Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu met with the national leader of the party, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his Lagos home. We were all at the body-lawn home of the national leader. Have a listen. The committee arrived in the body-lawn home of the APC national leader. They include Chairman of the committee, Governor Meimala Buni of Yobe State, Secretary, Senator James Akpan Uduedehe, Chairman Progressives Governors Forum, Governor of Kebbi State, Atiku Bagudu, and Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, being the host governor. After taking photo ops, they went into a closed-door meeting that lasted for 1.5 hours. Briefing journalists after, Asiwaju Tinubu described the visit as a consultation of the APC newly constituted caretaker committee.
Consultation. We have lost one of our brothers, Isaka Ajimabi. We discussed him and sent a very sincere condolence to the family, and look at our party, APC, which is the cure for aches and pain. So we apply the ingredient of APC to what appear to be pains in our party, so we heal, and we'll discuss the future from here.
The APC national leader also said the recent disagreement in the party is normal in any democratic setting.
We have never been divided. In politics, you can be born with a disagreement now. Not everybody is a zombie. We have no differences to be sorted. We just have consultations, and that consultation is how our party, the APC, will continue to be a progressive party. Politics without, seeming media crisis will be less interesting.
Chairman of the committee, Yobe State Governor, and the host governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, said the meeting was fruitful.
The consultation we're making, the task before us is daunting, and we need their experience, guidance, and prayers.
I'm happy to have all my colleagues here in Lagos, and indeed, it's been a very fruitful conversation we held this evening.
The committee had already visited the party's former interim national chairman, Chief Bisi Akonde, in his Ila country home in Osun State. Lagos State government has given permission to students in transitional classes to resume school starting from Monday, the 3rd of August, 2020. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu made this known in his briefing last Friday. We were there.
have a listen.
This briefing is coming after the Presidential Task Force Committee lifted the ban on interstate travel. Governor Sanwo-Olu says resumption of students in transitional classes applies only to day schooling.
All schools and educational institutions will remain closed. We continue to support online teaching of curriculum during this period. However, students in the transitional classes who have the mandatory public examinations ahead of them will be permitted to resume for revision classes and of course for the examination. All educational establishments are to follow the established public health guidelines and protocols for the reopening. Students impacted by these directives will be in the transitional class of JS3, SS3, and Tech 3, the teaching, the technical education schools 3 as well. The commencement dates for this will be from Monday, August the 3rd, 2020. Monday, August the 3rd. For JS3, Tech 3 will be the first that will start. And for SS3 and Tech 3 will be the one that will start. But for JS3, we'll wait for another 1 or 2 weeks and we'll see how we're taking the first set of Tech 3 and SS3 before they now subsequently will open. This permitted opening will apply only to day schooling. No boarding activity of any sort are permitted at this time. They are all day schooling. Schools authority are expected to spend this period between now and August the 3rd to be able to prepare themselves well and get the rightful directives from our Ministry of Education and the Quality Assurance Office under the Ministry of Education. They have continued to work with them and they will continue to work with them in that order so that they can prepare all of the infrastructure, the protocols that are essential, both at the public and private schools. Both at the public and private schools will make sure that they all fully comply with all of these directives. However, our tertiary institutions will continue to enjoy their online academic activities, which are at various stages as we speak. I know that some of them are also conversing with us to see if some final year students will be allowed to have physical opening. That modality, we're still working on it with them, but the online teaching that had started at the tertiary institutions will continue to happen.
The governor re-emphasized other guidelines that are already in place.
The nationwide curfew, which still remains in force between the hours of 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. daily, will continue to remain in force. Places of worship will continue to remain closed in Lagos for some more time in the future. All social and event centers, social clubs will also continue to remain closed for now. However, there are some conversations around verifiable trustees at governing boards in some clubs, and they are trying to meet very strict and stringent guidelines that has been released, and from time to time we're supervising them, we're checking them, and as the incident commander, when the time is ripe, we will let you know if they can also be open. But we're working with them and we're making sure that their premises are in compliance with all of the guidelines that we have. So what will happen is only public places that will be in possession of a valid provisional safety clearance letter that will be issued by the Safety Commission will be permitted to open at that time. We're working very closely to when that time will be. And in addition, additional guidelines around hygiene, physical distancing measures will also, all of those protocols will be in place. Let me also emphasize that all bars, day and night clubs, cinemas, game arcades, beaches, spas will continue to remain closed. Eateries and restaurants, they will continue to open for normal takeaway service that we have. Please, we'll continue to encourage them. We'll say that there should not be in-dining. We're still keeping to that. They're still prohibited, and we have arrested a few defaulters in this line, and we'll be coming harder on even some of them, and we will not stop. We'll probably even have to shut down and close down some of those eateries or restaurants who are disobeying those rules. We will not say that they should not sell. They can sell, but as much as possible, that has to all be taken away so that we can keep, the era of physical distancing at all of these places. All the restrictions applying to mass gathering will continue to remain in force. That is, gathering that for funeral or for social events, not more than 20% are still in place. Opening times for government and private offices, markets, supermarkets, eateries are still as expressed before now. In our public service, we will not be making any changes at this time, but we encourage our staff working from home to continue to improve themselves through the various learning management system. We have introduced various learning management systems at our public offices, and the portals are live. We'll continue to encourage them to use this and we'll have them enrolled so that they can improve their capability. Training have also started online. We've made those payments and we've opened those portals. We'll continue to encourage our public officers that are at home to continue to use this channel. The head of service will also be issuing further circulars in this regard. There will be two categories of people who qualify for testing of the COVID-19 in Lagos State. That is, the first category will be those who need to be tested, who fit the case definition for testing and therefore actually require testing. This category of people will continue to receive free treatment that will be at the expense of the state government in our public laboratories, and everyone who meets this case definition for the COVID-19 will be tested. What this means is that if you are showing symptoms of the infection, or if you have had contact with a confirmed case, or you have exposed yourself in a location where a confirmed case has also been reported, you are entitled to a free testing by the Lagos State government. However, there's a second category, that those who do not meet this case definition, but they want to be tested. They want to be tested for various reasons. They want to be tested for curiosity. They might also want to be tested to meet other requirements. Maybe they want to travel outside of the country, or they want to return to work. We know that there are some offices, there are some organizations that are just for the need to want to determine the status of their staff. They want them to get tested. This category of people will have access to the testing by one of our newly accredited private testing labs. But this will also be at a cost that will be duly communicated by these laboratories. But however, the state government has that oversight function to ensure that we continue to control and ensure that standards are maintained, and the biosecurity data that comes out from all of this testing are also kept, at the state level without any compromise of any sort. The federal government, as you're all aware, has approved the reopening of local airports, especially the Lagos and Abuja domestic airports will be open for domestic operation from Wednesday, July 8th, 2020. I imagine that our the Federal Ministry of Health and Lagos State Ministry of Health will be putting together, they've started conversation, adequate health port protocols to ensure that compliance at these airports are top-notch, and our Commissioner for Health is also aware of this. Everything that we need to do to support FAN and ensuring that the protocols at the airports are kept will also be guidely followed through.
Wearing of face masks in public places will no longer be taken lightly. Governor Sanwo-Olu wants scapegoats.
Personal responsibility is now more important than ever before, not only for our own self-protection, but also for the protection of our loved ones and other people that are around us. The mask usage is mandatory at public places. We are also asking officers and businesses and commercial premises to refuse entry to any persons who is not wearing their face mask, and in line with the Presidential Task Force directive on no mask, no entry, no mask, no service, enforcement agencies will from the coming days and week charge defaulters to court as the period of grace is over. And in the weeks ahead, by next week, we will certainly encourage the security operatives to arrest a few people, and we'll be charging them to court just to demonstrate that we're serious about this no mask, no service, no mask, no entry policy, especially in public environments. We have provided a lot of hand washing locations within our markets and a few other public offices and public places. Will ensure that you maintain social distancing, especially when you're in public environment. On our part as a government, we'll continue to do everything possible to protect and to uphold the health and the well-being of our citizens. As you know, any guideline or any directive is as effective to the extent of how many or how well people comply with these directives. The best laws and guidelines are of no use if people disregard these rules and laws for whatever reasons, and we will not allow that to happen in Lagos. Lagos, I'm sure you know, belongs to all of us, and we must all join hands to ensure that we defeat this virus completely.
Testing for COVID-19 is now in two categories. Those who need to be tested are those who show symptoms and will be free of charge at the state's facilities. The second category are those who want to test out of curiosity, traveling, for status, especially at workplace. These ones will bear the cost at the accredited laboratories. Lagos State government has inaugurated 100 units of hand washing station. This is part of the efforts by the government to curtail the spread of the coronavirus in the state. Deputy Governor Obafemi Hamzat received that donation. One of the directives to curb the spread of the coronavirus is frequent hand washing with soap. The World Health Organization and other health authorities believe it will keep the virus at bay.
We had our index case of COVID-19.
Deputy Governor encourages residents to imbibe this simple habit in order to stay safe, especially from coronavirus and other contagious diseases.
We knew that when it comes to Nigeria, it will be in Lagos, because we knew that we have the most busy airport, we know we have the most busy seaport, we know we have the highest number of and so on and so forth. So we know it's going to come to Lagos. So before then, a month before, the governor became the incident commander, and then the deputy incident commander is the commissioner for health in our preparation for this. And as we have seen, the isolation centers across the state, where we have the station to actually do the testing. We have what is called the Biosecurity Lab 3. It's the only one in West Africa. We have it right here in Yaba. So we thought we were preparing. But as you can all see around the world, nobody understands this virus when it came. Nobody in the world. But we were ready. And therefore, we thank Dr. Gambu for this assistance. And we must say it, a lot of Nigerians, for me, this shows that we are a good people as Nigerians. So everybody came up, donated food, donated money, everything to support the state and, of course, the country. We saw the coalition against COVID and all Nigerians coming together to fight this virus. So it's very gratifying that we are receiving these 100 units to assist everybody in the market, in various areas, to actually wash their hands.
As one of the protection against COVID-19, citizens have been regularly advised to wash their hands, frequently for at least 30 seconds. The hand washing stations have water tank, dispensable soap and hand sanitizers with the use of foot pedals.
We must take personal responsibility to protect everybody around us. So we are wearing masks. The other thing is we must wash our hands regularly. It's basic hygiene, but This virus is spread by contact with the nose, the face, and the mouth. Simulations have shown clearly that when you wear mask, you protect people around you. So you protect, so we must take personal responsibilities so that you don't, if you have it, so that you don't carry it to your mom, to your wife, to your husband, or whatever. So you keep it to yourself. And then you're also preventing everybody else from catching it.
Also, the state government received 300,000 pieces of disposable face masks by a group to further contain the community spread of COVID-19 in the state. 7 private laboratories in Lagos State have been added to the 4 government laboratories that have been licensed to conduct tests for COVID-19. This is to expand the testing capacity of the government and ensure the pandemic curve is flattened.
As the fight against COVID-19 intensifies, various state governments are putting measures in place to flatten the curve. Lagos, the epicenter of the virus, has been at the forefront of this battle. It has always been said that the state is at a level of community spread of the virus. This mindset has led the government to partner with private laboratories in a bid to ramp up testing capacity. Initially, 4 laboratories have been carrying out tests on patients for COVID-19. They include the Lagos State Biobank, Nigeria Institute of Medical Research, Central Public Health Laboratory in Yaba, and Lagos University Teaching Hospital. The work has been huge for these laboratories, and that's why the private sector is needed.
To expand our testing capacity, we've identified potential opportunities for us to work with private sector, and we've identified laboratories that can do the sophisticated level of testing that's required for COVID-19. This graph shows you that we have reached a stage where we've diagnosed over 10,000 cases.
What is going to happen to public testing is still going to remain the same. Even with the offloading of those that want to know their status of the public laboratory, now we are able to test more. There is going to be reactivation and expansion of the working centers, and so that samples can be taken at the local government level. Then we've identified hotspots within the community where also samples can be taken in as much as those coming in fit the case definition.
These private laboratories have been licensed to test patients for COVID-19. While the public health laboratories are free, but the private labs will charge a fee for their services.
It costs between 40 and 50,000 depending on the market forces of reagents to test for COVID-19, one single test. The public health response testing remains free. It is borne by the government. If you want to be tested, if you're a company or an individual and you want to be tested, then you will pay for the test. And that test will be directed to one of these private laboratories that have just joined the consortium. That is the idea.
The state government believes that the inclusion of these private laboratories will help tackle this pandemic.
Hygiene is very important when it comes to combating COVID-19, especially in our homes. Disinfect all hard surfaces and doorknobs regularly. And remember that non-wearing of face masks in public places now warrants arrest in Lagos State. So don't be a scapegoat. And that does it on today's edition of Inside Lagos. Many thanks for being a part of it. See you next time. I'm Adedoja. Salam Adeni.